Magandang hapon UPLB at magandang hapon din RJ. Napakaswerte natin ngayong hapon kasi napaunlakan tayo ng isa nating Tatak UPLB na all the way from Canada nga ba? Nasaan nga ba sa Pilipinas? Well, hindi pala sa Pilipinas, sa ibang bansa pala. Kaya nag-pre-record na kami ngayon. So, hindi na ako magpapatumpik-tumpik pa. Tatawagin ko na ang ating guest for today, si Albert Rosana. Hi, Albert.
Hi, Polly. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever we are in the world. Currently, may 15-hour difference between Edmonton City, Alberta, and Los Baños, Laguna.
Yes po. Ayan sir, hindi lang naman tayo ang makakasama natin sa Tatak UPLB. Makakasama din po natin ang aking kasamahan sa UPLB Office of Alumni Relations na walang iba kundi si Ezra. Hello Ezra, join ka sa aming tsikahan Albert ngayong ano.
Yes po. Hello po.
Hello? Ayan, nawala ako ulit. Hello, narinig niyo na ba ako?
Yes po, narinig ka na naman.
Ayan. So, simulan natin ang kwento ha. Albert, ano ba ang kinuha mong course sa UPLB? At ano ang kwento, bakit ito ang pinili mong course?
Okay. Basically, back in 2002, I choose UP Los Baños and UP Los Baños only when I took the UPCAT, specifically Bachelor's of Science in Biology. I guess consciously and subconsciously, the influence is from my parents. Ang nanay ko ay isang fishery biologist ng Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, studying lakes and rivers in the Philippines. Yung tatay ko naman is a farmer doing integrated and sustainable farming. So at a young age, I guess yung mga laruan ko ay microscope, yung mga posters ko ay mga scientific names. So I guess talagang yun yung naging direction. Hindi naman ako pinilit. I'm just seeing na they're enjoying yung ginagawa nila. So yun yung naging choice ko, I guess. And the rest is history.
Yes, ibig sabihin, Albert, at such a young age, parang meron ng direksyon ng buhay mo. Kasi yung nilalaro mo, yan yung ginagamit mo ngayon. Tama ba?
Yes, exactly. Naging microbiologist ako.
Ayan, nakakatuwa naman si Sir. Very, very curious siya nung bata pa lang siya. Ayan. So gusto ko rin po malaman, Sir, kung meron ka bang nakilala na UPLB na hindi mo makakalimutan? Yung pwedeng naging role model mo at bakit? Ayun.
I would say merong talagang mga professors, I guess, na tumatak sa iyo. And actually, nung earlier years ko, first year, second year, I can recall Professor Danielo B. Tolentino. Unfortunately, he passed away. Pero when I was learning biodiversity, yung mga scientific names, he's very passionate. And talagang, I feel na yung laboratory is not a place to study but really a stage to enjoy. Ang daming halaman, if I can recall, and then dissection ng palaka, ng ipis. So a lot of fond memories. I would say that he is one of my inspiration to basically take the path of being an academician, being a teacher. When I moved to third year, fourth year, yung nag-specialize na kami, microbiology yung pinili ko, one of the professors that I thought I want to write a book with is Dr. Noel Sabino. Very passionate, very knowledgeable, and talagang dun ko na-realize na working hard will eventually lead to ripping off the fruits of your labor. So, ano siya? Very empowering.
Yes po. Tama po
naman. Nakakatuwa ka naman, Albert, kasi naalala mo pa yung teacher na yon, no, hanggang ngayon.
Kaya ko, matatandaan ko siguro from first year hanggang fourth
Fourth
year.
year? So lahat ng teachers, kilala mo pa? Tanda mo pa lahat sila?
I think so. Kung
Wow.
matatandaan ko yung course, I can associate it with the lecturer, even the laboratory instructor. Because I was an instructor as well sa Department of Biological Sciences for a year and a half. So,
Okay.
colleagues ko din sila.
So, talagang hindi mo sila makakalimutan. So, balikan natin yung student life mo, ha? Ano
Yes.
ba yung pinaka-challenging na na-experience mo bilang estudyante at paano mo ito nalagpasan?
Okay. Honestly, I don't have a recollection na extremely challenging or huge difficulties nung nag-aaral ako. Siguro, yung ano lang, sometimes walang ilaw, or hindi sometimes, actually laging nag-brown out. This was 15 years ago. Na syempre, from somebody na nagma-microscopy, gumagamit kami ng microscope, I can vividly recall na kailangan may dala kang kandila. Yun yung source of light para makita mo yung mga samples mo. Or there are actually days na masyadong mahaba yung laboratory na you should be ready to sleep in the lab. So it's, I guess, basic hardship. Hindi naman talaga sobrang challenging. May mga bagyo minsan na nag-worry ka dun sa mga bacteria at mga halaman at animal samples mo, pero kasi ho nang lumublob ka sa baha, kailangan mo silang puntahan.
Tuloy-tuloy lang ang buhay. No?
Tuloy-tuloy lang.
So, meron ka ba, Albert, ng paboritong lugar na tinatambayan noon dyan sa ating campus at bakit mo siya naging paborito? Sino-sino ba
Okay.
mga madalas mong kasama dito?
I guess, guess what kung alin ang paborito kong tambayan?
Freedom Park ba yan?
Actually,
Laboratory?
yung likod ng library.
Oh!
Pareho kayo ni Adrian Crisanto, yung naging guest namin dito.
Kasi very nature-inspired. Parang presko yung hangin doon. And then tahimik na every time na may break kami sa Department of Biological Sciences, sa IBS, sa Institute of Biological Sciences, dun, lalakad lang ako doon sa likod. Then, muni-muni. Minsan, pumupunta ako dun sa tulay, parang never-ending bridge. Tama ba?
Yes,
Sa likod. And then, I can remember na kada weekend, nasa library ako. Kasi ang bango ng amoy ng mga lumang libro.
So at the back of the library and in the library.
Ang kagandahan sa UPLB, paglabas mo, marirelax ka kaagad. Tama ba, Albert?
Exactly. Yun yung nami-miss ko kasi dito, medyo mahaba yung winter namin, 6 to 8 months. Hindi ka pwedeng maggala sa labas kasi negative 40 degrees Celsius. Ganong kalamig ba yung minus 40? Magtapon ka ng kumukulong tubig, pag lapag nun sa lupa, yelo na.
Ayan. So, puntahan naman natin, Albert, after mong graduate. So, syempre, ang dami mo na nangyari na student life, tapos graduate ka na. Ano yung journey mo after graduation? Nag-aral ka pa? Nagtrabaho ka pa? Anong ginawa mo after?
Actually, ganito yung nangyari. Nag 3.5 years ako. So basically, yung fourth semester ko, fourth year, second semester, nakagraduate na ako, I applied as a faculty sa IBS. And then may mga sections nga na ang estudyante ko ay mga kabatch ko. And I stayed with IBS for a year and a half. And then there's an opportunity to work for a biotech company in Singapore. So 2007, lumipad ako ng Singapore to actually help build the molecular biology facility nung company. It's called Interactive Microorganisms Lab. na basically nagde-develop ng mga probiotics. So parang Yakult, but ang application niya is for the swine, cattle, and fish industry. So it's a feed additive for those animals. And then from there, nag-apply ako for grad school, different universities, countries, Australia, Switzerland, US, and then Canada. And then yung decision to choose Canada is solely from looking at an atlas, a map. So from the reference point ng Pilipinas, sabi ko, yung Alberta, Canada, siya yung pinakamalayo. Sige, doon ako pupunta. The rest is history.
Yung pinakamalayo.
So, Albert, sorry ha. Ano ko lang, gaano katagal ka na dyan sa Canada?
10 years na.
Wow, a decade. A decade ka na sa Canada.
And then collaborate actually. I'm actively collaborating with professors and students in UP Los Baños, in biotech, in Cavite State University, in Visayas State, as well as Mindanao State University.
Oh, that's very nice. Ayun. So, gusto rin po namin malaman paano po kaya nakatulong yung natutunan mo sa mga kurso mo sa UPLB sa pag-aaral mo sa University of Alberta.
Yes. You know what? I'm very thankful na I was trained by the best in our country in the field of microbiology. Kasi they really impart not just the knowledge, but the paranoia of being anal about analyzing your data, the paranoia of contamination, and I guess the paranoia of adhering to what's the truth and nothing but the truth. So, yung mga prinsipyong na-impart nila, I think is what I'm holding on to. And maybe that's what's setting me apart from my colleagues, yung mga kasamahan ko dito or yung mga contemporaries ko that that became advantageous, I think, in my journey sa grad school.
So more of critical thinking po yun, sir, no? Yung talagang
Yes.
na-impart sa inyo.
Yeah, you basically need to foresee, to foretell, planning, revising things, and really critically planning the path, the career that you want for yourself.
Albert, sa iyong pananaw, ano yung meron o tatak UPLB na wala sa ibang universities abroad?
Let me think about that. I want to say the intensity of training. Sometimes, reflecting back, yung mga hardships, if you wanna call it like that, na yes, syempre as a student, nagre-reklamo tayo as to bakit ang hirap ng exam, bakit ang daming ipinapagawa. When you go overseas, or at least, nung pumunta na ako dito sa Canada, parang nakita ko na mas hard worker and at the same time, nakakapag-plan ang mga students better because of the extensive training as well as knowledge na na-impart sa atin ng UP. UP Los Baños in my case. So maybe that's one of the major aspect na meron tayo.
Uy, maganda yun ha. Kasi imagine mo, totoo naman kasi nung estudyante tayo, lagi tayo, ay, bakit ang daming deadlines? Bakit sunod-sunod yung yung kailangang i-submit? Which is, in a way, parang natitrain din yung habit, routine, or as you may say, yung parang kung paano tayo sa ating future.
Ayun. So, na-curious din kami sa mga challenges na na-experience mo dyan sa University of Alberta.
Oo, I guess marami. Unang-una yung weather. So pagdating ko dito ng fall, it's roughly 8 degrees. So lamig na ako na parang pinagsisisihan ko na umalis ako ng tropical region ng Pilipinas. But on the academic side, I would say na merong reservation in terms of competing as well as being assertive. So I tend, and I'm not talking for all the graduate students or international graduate students, pero since we are foreigners, parang I feel to a certain degree na second class and therefore walang boses, walang opinion. Pero ang na-realize ko is the answer will always be no until you ask, until you voice out. And then through the years na-improve ko naman siguro yung sarili ko that nakikinig na sila.
Very nice po, sir. Very marami kaming nalalearn in terms of values on the way to how we handle yung mga ganong klaseng challenges.
Ano yung tingin niyo po na na-instill na values sa'yo ng UPLB na nakatulong sa'yo as a person or even as a student dyan sa University of Alberta?
Persistence. Being persistent and maybe dream big. The hunger for knowledge and seeking for answers is I think what's installed in every single UPLB alumni. Kasi subconsciously we are asked to think critically, subconsciously tinuruan nila tayong magsalita ayon sa ating paniniwala, ayon sa katotohanan, at ayon sa nararapat. So with that, I think that there's always a distinction kung ano yung isang estudyante or isang alumni ng UP na it radiates. May mga scenario nga na tinatanong ako ng mga professors ko na meron pa bang mga estudyanteng kagaya ko na from the Philippines na baka naman gustong mag-apply dito sa University of Alberta. Bakit parang kakaunti yung mga Pilipino na kino-consider ang graduate studies. So I hope na itong journey ko, itong experience ko will inspire other, not just UP students or alumni, but Filipino in general to look at the possibilities of advancing themselves, especially in this rather difficult times. Na consider studying. It's something that you can enjoy.
Ayan. So, just to add a while ago, kasi napansin ko rin the way si Albert nag-explain, no, I think this would also attract mga prospective UPLB students. I hope that they would also parang have that kind of inspiration na maganda rin pala talaga mag-aral sa UP. Yun. So this is yung question namin na sunod. So kwentuhan mo naman kami, Albert, dun sa iyong dissertation na ang title ay Fatal Attraction, Evaluation and Engineering, Insect Killing Molds for the Biocontrol of the Invasive Mountain Pine Beetle. Ayun. Bakit ito po ang napili yung pag-aralan?
Oo. So dito sa Canada, ang isa sa major industry is yung forestry. So logging, mga pine trees converted to yung mga palochina, mga muebles, mga materials for building houses. In the recent decade, nagkaroon ng epidemic. It's not a pandemic kasi limited sa North America. Merong isang kulisap, yung mountain pine beetle, doon siya namumuhay sa puno ng pine tree. Pero dahil may cycle ng winter, namamatay sila. Until recently, hindi na-reach yung sobrang lamig na kondisyon na ayon sa mga scientists ay epekto ng global warming. So hindi na ganun kalamig yung winter, na ang nagiging epekto ay mas nabubuhay, mas nakaka-survive itong mga beetles na to. So what that means is that 80% of the Canadian Western pine forest is pretty much affected by this epidemic na it compromises a $19 billion annual revenue for the Canadian government. So I think this is similar to our kokolisa situation sa Pilipinas, na yung mga coconut naman natin ay tinatamaan nitong beetle at namamatay din sila. So yung project ko, it's a strategic grant awarded by the federal government to my team. It's amounting to $700,000 for 3 years. So that's roughly 30 million peso to devise or develop a biotechnological procedure. So dito, gumagamit ako ng isang uri ng amag na ang tawag ay Bovaria bassiana. At ang ginagawa ko dito ay ini-engineer ko siya. So using biotechnological tools, ginagawa ko siyang mag-produce ng tinatawag na sex pheromone nung mga beetles. So ang mangyayari, itong amag na to, kaya niyang patayin yung beetle, pero syempre yung beetle, tatakbo siya, ayaw niya dun sa amag. So para ma-attract yung beetle dun sa amag, I will let the beetle, or rather yung amag, na gumawa ng sex pheromone. So wala na siyang takas. Highly specific. So, hindi niya ma-resist yung tawag ng amag sa kanya.
Tinatawag siya ng amag na lumapit sa kanya.
So in that way, dahil yung mga sex pheromone ay very specific sa bawat insekto, magkakaiba yan, it will make it very selective. Hindi niya maapektuhan in principle yung honeybees, yung butterflies, yung ating mga beneficial pollinating insects. Of course, this is only a proof of concept, because in reality, it's more complicated than that, because we are aiming to perturb the environment. And of course, there's a way to balance that out. Although that's the case, we can think of this technology can in principle be applied in any pest, in any insect, in any sort of crop system that the world has. It could be yung kokolisa ng mga niyog, pwede din yung mga insekto ng mansanas, ng sugarcane, yung ipis sa bahay, yung mga mosquito na nagkakos ng malaria, for as long as you can decode the sex pheromone pathway. At dun ako pumapasok. Using genomics and DNA tools, transcriptomics, mga terms to na ginagamit for genetic engineering, pwede siyang magawa.
So, puntahan naman natin, Albert. Kasi yan yung yan yung nagpanalo sa'yo eh. Yung dissertation mo na yan.
Yes.
Kasi syempre yung iba nating mga nanonood at nakikinig dito sa Tatak UPLB, hindi naman masyado pang familiar dun sa naging award mo. So pwede mo ba kaming kwentuhan, ano ba yung natanggap mong award? Yung Kilam Memorial, tama ba? Kilam ang pronunciation?
Kilam, yes.
Kilam
yes.
Memorial Graduate Prize. Pwede mo bang i-describe yun sa amin at bakit ito naging prestigious?
Oo. So, yung Kilam is the most prestigious award at the University of Alberta kasi merong mag-asawa, si Madam Dorothy at si Sir Isaac. They are both philanthropists. And way back when, they donated a big portion of their wealth sa University of Alberta, and I think 2 other universities, Dalhousie, which is in Nova Scotia, Canada, and University of British Columbia. It's amounting to $400 million at the time. And to be able to receive this award, you should, in principle, satisfy three major uh, aspects of a graduate student's, I guess, success. One would be you have a proven track record in terms of grades, in terms of publications, uh, essentially scholarly work.
Mhm.
The second would be you have a promising research project that has a huge impact uh, towards the Canadian as well as the scientific community. And last but not the least is you have leadership and community involvement. So in my spare times, hindi siya masyadong madami, pero I'm quite involved in um, the community here, specifically the UP Alumni Association
Mhm.
Edmonton, which in
Oo, Edmond.
2000, yes, which in 2019 was actually awarded the most distinguished alumni association in the world for UP. So if you look yung sa Diliman,
Oo.
yan, naka-register yung aming alumni association dito. And um, I think our group is integral. It's actually critical for a lot of the Filipino activities here, including fiesta, including reaching out to our kababayans in the Philippines from Typhoon Haiyan. Haiyan is Yolanda, way
Yes.
back in
13.
2013.
2013, yes po.
Yes. And then now we have activities to hopefully support the current calamities, Raleigh, and I guess there's Shawnee
Yes.
coming as
Yes.
well. We're active with the embassy here in Canada, and that's one way na I would say Tatak UP, di ba? We're done with our alma mater, pero we are trying to return back the gratitude by hopefully guiding the young ones. I'm also part of the same system that proposed scholarships. So the UP Alumni Association here, meron kaming scholarships for UP. I myself, I donated several hundreds of textbooks sa UP Los Baños way back in 2017.
Wow.
Um, so I guess with all those sort of collections, those attributes, the Killam Laureate Secretariat realized that this individual, myself, is a deserving person to receive the award. So usually, bibigay yung kay Sir Isaac Walton Killam.
Mhm.
There's, I believe, 25 of us who won the award. But the top three will also get the wife, the Dorothy Killam.
Okay.
So I'm at the top three of that 25 awardees.
Yes.
Different fields from engineering to linguistics. In my case, I'm representing chemistry.
Mhm. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Actually, ang dami pa natin pwedeng pagkwentuhan, Albert, eh. Pero sayang, konti lang yung oras natin.
Oh,
So let's talunan natin 'to kasi bilang alumni at bibigyan ka ng chance na mag-recommend something sa ating bagong upong chancellor, si Chancellor Dong Camacho. Ano
yes.
ang suggestion mo para sa pag-unlad at magkaroon ng international prominence ang UPLB? Pwede sa infrastructure, pwede sa research, sa publication. Ano 'yun?
I think one thing na napansin ko na prominent these days is that there is a strong student exchange between universities and countries. For the past 5 years at least, there's a surge of Latin American students. These are undergrads actually, as young as they're in your undergrad, you don't necessarily need to be in grad school. Pumupunta sila dito for a 3 to 12-month apprenticeship. Um, that's one of my hopes, actually. I tried inviting a couple of students from UP Los Baños na I'm more than happy to mentor them and be under my guidance. When they come here, we have projects or grants from DOST uh, through the PICASTART or the Assured arm. Uh, I also hope na the current governance ng UP Las Bañas will look into further collaborations. So in my case, uh, I tried reaching out with my former professors in UP Las Baños, with academician Raimundo, to Regent Ida Dalmasio, um, scientists from biotech as well, Dr. Sarate, um, Dr. Pulido de Leon from Museum of Natural History in Forestry. We do actually collaborate. So hopefully with the current leadership, ma-foster pa yung mga gantong collaborative work, especially now na I guess the way to go moving forward is something like this, virtual system, conferences. So I think there's more avenues to collaborate more. Distance is no longer an excuse.
We have the last question, Albert. So ano po yung message ninyo sa ating fellow alumni na gustong mag-aral dyan abroad?
Oh, yes. I would say na bite the bullet. That's the first thing. You need to have that strong conviction and you use it as a stepping stone. This is not the A all and B all. This is just a chapter. It will be hard. It will be challenging, but that is something na I guess trained na tayo bilang mga alumni ng UPLB or ng UP in general. There are help na available. There are alumni associations. We have a consul general here in Alberta supporting bilateral agreements actually with Alberta universities. That includes the University of Calgary, the University of Lethbridge, as well as the University of Alberta here in Edmonton, na the tuition can be cheaper. You will not pay the same rate as the other international students. You'll pay the same rate as the locals, the Canadian citizens. And doing grad school actually is well supported. Hindi ako nagbunot bulsa, not a single penny. Not because I have scholarships. I came here without scholarships. Ang system dito is you will be supported by a teaching assistantship. So magtuturo ka and that will improve your communication skills. It will boost your confidence and they will nurture you to become a good person, not necessarily, you need to be a great scientist. First and foremost, you need to be a good person. And then eventually, whatever you plant, kung ano yung mga tinatanim mo dyan, you'll harvest it in due time. So I think that is something na you need to think of the future, what it will impart to you more than the money. And everything will follow.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice to hear. Actually, Albert, you're reaping, nag-rip ka na ngayon ng mga yung mga inanim mo kahit pa paano. Di ba? Oo. Maraming salamat sa sa binigay mo sa aming oras. Alam ko nasa lab ka pa ngayon eh. Oo. Maraming salamat, Albert.
Yung lab namin ang gumagawa ng COVID drug ng Canada.
Oh,
so,
that's nice to hear.
Kung lahat ay online na, kami ay mga alay para sa siyensya. Yes. So hopefully, the team will be able to pass phase 2 of human clinical trials.
Yes, pray for that para kahit paano naman ay makabalik-balik tayo kahit new normal na. Makabalik-balik tayo sa medyo usual na wala ng mask.
Exactly.
Yun. So, Albert, ito ay nire-request namin sa lahat ng guests namin dito sa sa Tatak UPLB, yung shout out ng Tatak. So,
Oh.
ito lang yung sasabihin mo, ako si, yung pangalan mo, at Tatak UPLB ako. So, pwede mo bang sabihin yung Tatak shout out namin?
Okay. Ako si Albert Rosana, Tatak UPLB.
Ayan, maraming salamat Albert, maraming salamat din Estra.
Thank you din
Sana
po.
nag-enjoy kayo dito sa ating kwentuhan. Medyo mahaba-haba pero marami kasi tayong matututunan mula kay Albert at sa kanyang congratulations uli Albert. Nakalimutan ko i-congratulate ka.
Walang anuman.
Napakaganda nung yung iyong mga nagawa. Sana marami ka pang ma-mentor na mga younger generation. Hopefully marami din from Pilipinas. So, ating mga alumni, pakinggan niyo tong story ni Albert kasi it's really very inspiring. So maraming salamat. So ang Katatak, huwag po niyong kakalimutan, paki-update lang po uli ang inyong alumni information sa ating OAR website. Maraming salamat Albert, maraming salamat Ezra, at naku, na-miss ka namin RJ, mas masaya sana kung kasama ka namin dito, pero huwag kang mag-alala, next episode magkasama na ulit tayo. So see you, and back to you, RJ.